Revolutionary greetings from the beautiful province of Limpopo. Comrade President, I feel honored. I really feel honored to stand before you this evening. Just after a long week of deliberations, adjudications of policy issues that pertains to the transformative process that are currently taking place within our country, both within the labor and educational sector. It is an honor for me because standing here, I am a product of a teacher. Standing here, it's because of a teacher that I can speak in front of you. My first speech was done when I was at a primary school because our teachers, probably a member of SATU, has forced us to debate. Little did she knew that that debate will lead into a leader I am today. That is why I feel we are not just gathered here to celebrate the achievement of this powerful union, but also to celebrate the importance of the World Teachers' Day. Many people don't understand. Let me just share with you on a lighter note that I come from a family where I have two brothers. One is a doctor and the other one is an engineer who is in the education sector. Now, this one of a doctor likes saying, you know, without a nurse, without a doctor, none of us will be alive. When a child is born, there must be a midwife or a gynecologist or a GP. And equally, when you die, there must be a nurse or a doctor to close your eyes. Then this other one who is an engineer but currently is in the education sector will like to respond by saying, I wonder where was the midwife and the gynecologist when in 2000 a woman delivered on the tree in Mozambique after those floods. The woman was on her own, but she delivered the child, if she's still alive, could be around 24 years. But he then would challenge and say to the elder brother, show me any doctor or any engineer or any nurse who can claim that they did not pass on the hands of a teacher. And none of us can show that. And he would say, our grandmother died here at home with our mother. It was our mother who closed her eyes. There was no doctor. So that simple means that we can't replace a teacher, but we can replace many other professions. So I'm saying this because this is what I always remind those I work with, even within the Executive Council, to say we can't talk about the future of this country. We can't talk about the inclusive economic growth. We can't talk about job creation. We can't talk about health. We can't talk about any other sector if we don't want to invest on the education of our children, and investing on educators and on our teachers. Because those are the important people towards skills development, because without relevant skills, there's no way we can build an inclusive economy. So that is why, President, and yes, let me reassure you that in our province, we had a discussion with the MEC for Education, who happens to be the provincial treasurer of the Communist Party, that we see what is happening in other provinces. I see their comrades from Western Cape. Some of them are worried who is next to be retrenched. And we want to reassure you that in our province, where we do not have a GNU, there is no teacher that will be retrenched as long as I'm still the Premier. And I'm saying this not because I want to be popular. I'm saying this because I've told you when I started speaking to you, I wouldn't be standing here and be talking to you if a teacher did not sacrifice their time, their energy, and impact the knowledge from them to myself. And here I am standing. Therefore, I want many Phophi Ramathuba to be produced in Limpopo, and it's only teachers who can produce those Phophi Ramathuba. We can't talk about improving our education when we don't want to invest in our teachers. In the next 23 days, our grade 12 learners will be sitting for the final examination. And I can tell you, many teachers who are teaching grade 12 are now currently panicking. I used to think it's in the health sector where we work 7 days a week, day and night. In fact, I've noted, after interacting with teachers, when we were launching our 30 days countdown, when I was addressing principals with the MEC in Limpopo, I realized that actually our educators are working, some of them more than some of us in the health sector. Because I've noted they are working 7 days a week, from Sunday to Sunday. They are taking their learners into afternoon studies. Their learners are being taught even on Sundays. When they were writing preliminary exams, some of them were taken into camps because the teachers are at pain to make sure that this learner gets a bachelor so that they can get access to higher education, because the teacher knows and understands if this child does not make it in grade 12, it means it's the end of this child. Because the teachers understand better. That is why we call you deputy parents. So I want to say it is important for us to recognize this day, because this is a day that is meant for those who are responsible to mentor our future leaders. That is why World Teachers' Day must be celebrated by all of us in the country, because without you, the country does not have a future. So for me, I want to wish you a happy World Teachers' Day, and also wish you a happy birthday for Satu, as you will be turning 34 in the next 6 days, and in the next 7 days, we will be celebrating World Teachers' Day. So for me, this Congress of yours, to even resolve on a theme that talks about mobilizing the consciousness and uniting the revolutionary professionals in strengthening fundamental learning and functional skills to advance inclusive and sustainable economic growth in pursuit of socialist society. It's more relevant than any other theme. It speaks to the heart of SATU and what SATU stands for, contrary to what others in some corners think SATU stands for. They must understand that the working conditions that teachers are subjected to, especially those who come from provinces like ours who are rural, but they still continue to compete with those who are in urban areas, even if we have not leveled the playing field. So we are saying, as teachers, note that in some corners of this government, there are those who appreciate you, and I'm one of those who appreciate you. I also want to remind the teachers, because I was part of the Central Executive Committee that crafted the resolution in 2007 of National Health Insurance. We have agreed, and SATU, through the Education and Health Subcommittee, have pushed the NHI, and today, when the President appended the signature early this year to make it a law, no longer a bill, I must first congratulate SATU and all affiliates of COSATU and other progressive forces who make sure that today we have a law that talks about national health insurance. We don't care whether it's GNU, national or whatever, but NHI must be implemented in our lifetime. We are saying NHI will be able to assist in resolving a number of challenges that are facing the health system. If I am to summarize that very big document, I will only talk about the principles that you are aware. I will only operationalize the national health insurance. I'm not going to speak big English that I myself don't understand. I will remind you that pre-1994, this country had more than 14 departments of health. Whether you talk about Libua, Gazankulu, Venda, Transkei, Siskai, KwaZulu-Natal, all of them had their ministers. The 1994 breakthrough gave us one national department of health supported by 9 provinces. In pre-94, it depended on the color of your skin as to which health facility will attend to you. If you are Mugwena Maluleke, my general secretary, coming from Tamahansi, you get involved in an accident on N1, you will be taken to either George Masebe or Mukopani Hospital, which was called Refilwe, while there is Fort Trekker Hospital in town. Because you were black and you know yourself, you are black, you would not be admitted in Fort Trekker Hospital. The 1994 abolished that. But after abolishing that, what did they do? We then came and neglected the public sector. And then what did Capital do? Because they knew now that there is no longer two-tier system. There is no longer the system dependent on white or black or language. If you speak Chivenda, you can't go to Malamlele Hospital. You will have to go to Chirizini. What they did, they came up with this two-tier system and introduced the Medical Aid Act. And then those who are rich now can access the health system for the rich. Those who are poor must be crowded in public hospital. We need to abolish that. If today I'm driving with my domestic worker and my children, and we get involved in an accident, a chopper will come, even if I've got scratches. They will prioritize me and my children and airlift me to the best facility in the country. If my nanny is in coma, they will wait for the public EMS to come and pick her up. So what does it mean? It means all health professionals in this country are guilty of not practicing what they were trained to practice. You are trained to say when you go to an accident scene, you must assess the patient based on the severity of injuries, not based on the size of the pocket. The current health system says if you don't have money, you must die. If you have money, you must live forever. It's only COVID-19 that came here and remind us that it doesn't matter how rich you are, you can die with COVID. We've seen ministers, we've seen premiers in other countries, we've seen heads of state suffering from COVID. Others lied and say they didn't die of COVID, but they know themselves, or COVID didn't care. It starts with the head of the state up until the man on the street. When I look at the mortality rate, because I was the MEC for health, I can tell you, those who were in the public hospital, majority of them were saved compared to those who were in the private hospital. We were being reminded, whether it was by the system, whether it was God, whether it was ancestors, to say this system of thinking that when you are rich, you must have the best healthcare system doesn't work. We are used to pandemic that attack the poor, your cholera, your typhoid, because you don't have clean water. But COVID-19 didn't care how rich you are. It will come in a factory and start with the CEO or the chairman of the factory and hit very hard. That was COVID. So we have learned from COVID. We can't wait anymore. We must implement NHI. Those who said private healthcare is the best, tell me how many relatives. I've lost my relatives in the very same private healthcare system. And I've saved my relatives in the very same poor public health system. So we are saying the public healthcare system must be also be funded so that it can be corrected. Universal health access to quality healthcare, it's in our lifetime. We are saying the poor must be subsidized by the rich. The current system, my health system, it's subsidized. Who's not working. Because she contributes towards vet, she contributes towards my medical aid. But it's not supposed to be in that way. We are saying SATU must continue to put pressure on us to say, let's implement the national health care in our lifetime. Put pressure on us to improve the public healthcare system. Put pressure on us to address the funding of the healthcare system. Put pressure on us to make sure that everyone have access to quality healthcare, irrespective of the size of their pocket. I'm not going to go at length because I know SATU understand the NHI because they were there when we were dealing with it to say this is a tool that is going to transform our own health system. It is not perfect. We know there are many challenges. But if you don't have an alternative, why shouldn't you allow us to implement the national health insurance? Many of you now, my comrades in SATU, your medical aids are exhausted. If you get an accident tomorrow, you are not going to get it. But if it was to happen, you were going to go to a private hospital, they were going to tell you you don't have money, go to the public hospital. So is that system perfect? The system that then wants you when you have money, when you don't have money, they dump you to the public health system. So my message to you is that let's work together as SATU and our government, at least where I'm leading, where we are leading in Limpopo. You are welcome to bring any input as SATU, not only with regard to education, but including with health, including with social development. You are the one who sees poverty on our children in their face. When our children are abused, when our children are abused at home, the first doctor to diagnose them, it's you, our teacher. So that is why we want to work together so that we can fight these demons of unemployment, poverty, and inequality. And we know if we empower you as SATU, we can be able to achieve what we want to achieve as a society, and we can build that socialist country that we are looking forward towards building. Because without that one, we are not going to achieve what we want to achieve. So comrades, to me, I'm saying, let's continue to empower you. By empowering you, we are supporting our learners. By empowering you, we are transforming our society for the better. Together, we can build a future where education becomes a greater equalizer. Together, we can build a system wherein healthcare becomes a right, not a privilege. Together, we can build a society where gender-based violence is a distant memory of a painful past. I'm wishing you all the best. And as we celebrate our heritage, before I sit down, let me congratulate the KwaZulu-Natal grouping. And I'm urging all SATU members to say, you don't have to play rugby, You don't have to to be an athlete. You don't have to play soccer. You can just dance our tradition. You have seen the six-pack are there for everyone to see on the KwaZulu-Natal grouping. I can guarantee you, if I'm to use my former profession and check their cholesterol level, all those who were here in front of us, I can guarantee you it's normal. If we are to check our blood pressure, I can tell you they are normal. If you are to check their blood sugar, it's within the normal range. So you can see, join whatever grouping you can. All our African traditional dances are not different. Where I come from, we have got Chigubu, Shamchongolo. It's not different from this. Where I come from, we have got Inaka, we have got Chikona. You can't blow that horn when your chest, you are a smoker. For you to blow that horn, it means your lungs are perfect. So please, let's respect our traditional dances and teach our children to understand the importance of our heritage. We are dependent on you as educators. If those teachers who taught me were able to produce me, you can produce even better generation than myself. Thank you very much. Ndoribuwana Cancer Inkomu.